Welcome to another video of Unboxed Burrito. I got this nice little cat controller sent to me here so that I can make a review for you guys. This controller should work for the Nintendo Switch. So opening it up, wow, really nice, cute little controller. Be sure to fully charge before use. And underneath, a funky USB Type-C cable here. That's actually really cool looking. And then we get a nice little user manual here, which basically just shows you the layout of the controller and how to connect to your Nintendo Switch. So I'm going to peel the label off of the back of this controller. The sticker comes off nice and clean, and look at that cute little cat controller. 3 little like rubber paws here. It's actually rubber, so it feels soft and very nice. It's a little cute detail. I almost see these 2 little buttons here, like the little eyes, and here's a little smile with the little nose here. So the A, B, X, Y keys are carved in. The joysticks have a nice feel to it. You definitely can feel that the Joy thumbstick is smaller, but it's still comfortable to use. Nicer feeling than the Joy-Cons. The ears here are actually rubber. There's a clear rubber. I'm actually impressed with the button click quality. The joystick clicks are really loud, but all the other buttons are actually nice and soft. Quite an enjoyable experience pressing these buttons. The little ears don't do anything other than aesthetics. If somehow your fingers always tend to slip upwards, you have these little ears that can hold them into place. The Z triggers here feel alright. They feel a little bit loose. Nice glossy plastic on top with the C port and sync button. This almost looks like it would be like a battery tray door, but it isn't. It does not come out. It's probably just part of the design. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in for the first time. Blinking lights in the middle. They're actually very nice green bright lights. And I'm just gonna let this charge now, and I will return when it's fully charged. Okay, so it looks like the controller is fully charged because the lights are no longer blinking and they're just fully lit. So now, in order to pair the controller, we just go to Controllers, change grip order, hold the sync button on the top. The controller will begin flashing the lights and it connects. So that's very easy and very simple. You'll be surprised how many third-party controllers is not that simple to connect. And now I have control over my Switch. Oh man, I just noticed, look, the ears, they light up. You can see the ears light up. This is like super awesome. That is an extra detail that makes this controller even cooler. When the controller is already paired to your console, you can actually just hold the home button here and it will wake the console from across the room if it was in sleep mode and get right back to using it. You can hear the rumble here. If you hold turbo button and you flick the joystick up or down, you increase or decrease or totally turn off the rumble feature in the controller. So the controller rumble is totally off. Pushing it up once puts it on low. Second time's medium. Third time is really high. It is a very strong rumble. That's why you can actually even hear it. It starts tickling your fingers. So the middle setting, I would say, is the standard and best setting to set the rumble to. Buttons feel good quality. It feels just like a standard third-party controller. There is a bit getting used to the proportions of all the buttons. Like all my fingers are used to moving slightly further to hit all of these buttons, and you have to kind of realize that your fingers don't actually have to move that far to hit the buttons. Especially the A, B, X, Y keys, like your thumb can cover all 4 buttons. So you have to be a lot more precise with the button presses. I feel like instead of using the base of my thumb, I have to use the tip of my thumb. All of these buttons and joysticks a bit too tight together. There's not too much room. Whenever I want to hit the Y button, my thumb actually hits the edge of the joystick here. So it's almost like you have to kind of tilt your thumb sideways when you want to hit Y. Another thing I'm noticing is while the ZL and ZR are actually very easy to press, the regular L and R is a bit awkward. You kind of have to push extra harder than you feel like you should. And it doesn't have the very nice like tactile feedback. It doesn't click. The joysticks are actually pretty good, they're pretty accurate. I would say they're slightly on the more sensitive side. Like the tiniest push would actually make your crosshairs move a bit quicker than normal. So I would say the biggest complaints while playing a game like Fortnite was every time I wanted to hit Y, my thumb would hit this joystick. The L and R buttons, they're a bit awkward feeling, and you have to be very accurate with these tiny buttons here. My thumb literally covers the whole thing. Press the attack button while moving the joystick in the same time. So I feel like if you kind of like practice playing that way, then it might actually be kind of beneficial. Clicking the joysticks though now, you actually have to kind of press hard, and it has this very not satisfying click to it. The click's just very loud and clunky. Using the motion controls though, it works extremely well, just like any other regular Pro controller. So you can see moving the controller around allows you to aim and shoot the arrow, and it's really accurate. It feels like I'm using the official brand Pro controller when it comes to the motion controls. So playing a game using the D-pad, I don't really have any complaints. It feels just like any other regular controller. It is a bit smaller, but having it extra small doesn't really affect you in any way. Your thumb covers more, so it's a bit easier to move your thumb around to hit all the directions you want. You don't have to like precisely hit the directions. You could kind of just tilt your thumb. Yeah, so if you were to compare the official Pro controller with this controller, it doesn't look that big of a difference when you're comparing the entire body. However, the proportions to all the buttons is very significant. You can't really push all 4 buttons with your thumb. You can do 2 at a time compared to this. Definitely very good for kids. Hand grips are actually really comfortable. They're almost like similar size to a regular controller. It's mostly the buttons where everything gets smaller. Somehow the shape is almost the same size. It's only about that much difference. So it definitely is a bit smaller. It's actually pretty good. If I had to give it my #1 complaint, it would actually be the awkwardness of hitting the L and R button. It doesn't really feel like you're actually pressing a button when you press it. I guess one last thing to try out could be this turbo function. So I think if you hold turbo and then you hold the button you want it to operate, so the light's flashing to tell you that turbo is on, and you can see that I am automatically jumping. Holding it down and the button you want stops it. So in conclusion, you want a slightly tinier controller or a cute looking controller, this one works out pretty well. If you want a controller in general, then do not get this, because you might as well just get the proper feel and performance from a full-size controller. So especially if you have kids that have trouble handling a full-size controller, then definitely try this out. They probably will be able to have a better time using something a bit smaller. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like, comment below, subscribe. Thanks for watching.